Hi, let's talk about sap green. So sap green, it's a very popular color, green color that you can actually find in many makers' repertoire together with Hooker's green. So this sap green that I'll be talking about today is from Daniel Smith Extra Fine Watercolors. And the one that I have is actually an old version. So it's actually an old formulation. So let's examine the colors. Let's examine the color. It is transparent, okay. I applied it thickly, so you do see like it's actually covering a little bit of the lines, but actually it's in fact transparent because I was just using it too much of it. And when you examine the water in paint, paint in water, interaction, you do see that it's not granulating, and there is in fact a little bit of like a separation of colors with some pigments being yellow, more yellowish on certain areas. It's made out of two pigments. For the old formulation, it's made out of two pigments, PO49 and PG7. So PG7 is the green pigment, and PO49 is like the orangey yellow pigment. It has excellent light fastness in series 2, so it's slightly more expensive. Medium staining. I do have to like scrub out a little, and you do see like the surface is a little bit damaged. Gradient test is pretty normal. So what I have here is actually the old version of sap green. So if you have actually gotten this pigment recently, this paint sap green recently, you would have a new version because I think they've run out of quinacridone gold, and so the new version has got three pigments. It's PO48, PY150 and PG7. So the only pigment that they kept the same is PG7. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of differences if you just look at these two colors on this paper which I have, which is the Saunders Waterford. Okay, in order to examine the differences between the new and old formulation, because I can't really see much of a difference on the paper that I'm using for my color swatches, the paper that I'm using is Saunders Waterford. Cold press, and it's not showing much of a difference. But if I were to swatch the two different formulation, on this paper is the Awagami factory bamboo paper. You will see that there is some difference in the shade, like the new being more yellow than the old one. And this paper is Bao Hong cold press. It's 100% cotton cold press paper, and similarly you do see that the new is more yellow than the old one. All right, so much for the difference in the old and the new formulation. So why would anybody get sap green? I can make green from yellow and blue, so why do I need to get green paint? Well, it's a very obvious reason, because it's a nice and usable green that you can use. And if you do see any vegetation, trees, green fields, you can just use this straight from the tube. There's no need for you to mix. So when you mix it with other colors, all right, if you mix it with ultramarine blue, you do get all these like a darker bluish green, a turquoisey color. And if you mix it with burnt sienna and this is quinacridone rose, you get a like a burnt umber color, or something like a more maroon color. So this is very interesting. You can actually mix color, and it allows you to do a lot more. And when we look at a similar color, so sap green is quite a common color, meaning there are many different brands with the same sap green name to it. So generally it's like a yellowish green color. For Winsor & Newton, the sap green they have is called the permanent sap green. It's made up of a different pigment, but there's also a green and yellow, slightly more greenish than this one from Daniel Smith. Schmincke has a sap green, which is also made up of a mixture. They use the same green pigment, but different yellow pigment. So it is also even more green than the one from Winsor & Newton. These two are slightly more different. And this is the one from Alpha Watercolor. This one is, there isn't any information on the pigment information. but I would say the color is pretty similar, right? But I do not know what's in there. So other than these colors, there's also a Daniel Smith Deep Sap Green. So this Deep Sap Green is made up of very different pigment. It doesn't have a PG, doesn't have a PG at all. It's made of the yellow, orange, and a blue pigment, which is the PB27. So it's a deeper sap green. Well, anyway, just let me know if there's a particular sap green that you really like, and you can share it in the comment section below. Now let's examine how we can use this in an actual drawing. This is a shop, I think it's a coffee shop. It's called the Darwin's Room. It's a coffee cafe in Japan. And I primarily use sap green on the the vegetation, the things that are growing around in the shop, outside the shop. So I did mix it with the Quin Gold, which is a stupid idea because it actually has got quinacridone gold in the pigment already. So I don't know why I used it. Mainly for the rest of the shop. All right. I also try to use garnet. And also I think ultramarine blue. So you do see a little bit of dark green and some of the more brownish umber colors. I think even here. All right, and I did use some gouache. As you see, I highlighted some parts of it with the gouache. So this is how I use the sap green. Very convenient mixture for drawing, for painting, for urban sketching. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Do let me know. Do give me a thumbs up if you like it, and consider subscribing to my channel if you like to see similar videos. Alright? Yep, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!